The pattern is the same.
It's the same, because you'll find that even the way these people used to do it, even where I've been, if it's Mississippi or Jackson, then you find the white people North Jackson, the South or West Jackson. That is where our people are.
Right.
So even here it's the same.
What is the thinking behind that, do you suppose, or do you know?
No, that's how they design these things, these white people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the nice area,
Mm-hmm.
they take, you know, the bad area, you know, that's where they push you in. It's like Obama was talking during those years to say, no, when the south part of Chicago, you know, if it's South Chicago, then you know what to expect. It's not a nice area. North Jackson, good. West Jackson, South Jackson, that is where we are. Even here, that is Katutura, is there Katutura, that's where the black people live.
Right.
That western area.
There's just different words for these what we could call settlements.
Yeah.
In certain places that we call them projects.
Yeah.
Or they may be called the slums, or called deprived areas, economically disadvantaged. All these terms for, you know, having these areas where people can tell when you put your address down what your background is,
exactly,
what your economic standing is.
Exactly.
Etana is a reggae artist, and I'm sure it's her track where it links to the story in her song is about someone trying to get a job, and every time they go for an interview they basically tell the person that, you know, we don't want any trouble, you know, where you live there's always trouble, and so we can't employ you because your postcode, your address tells us you come from a certain area.
You see?
Do you know the song?
But that's exactly. Now the so-called colored people would be living here before independence.
Now colored people are different from who? I mean, how do I know who colored people are?
The colored people would be those mixed.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's where Africans and Europeans have come together and had children.
Yeah.
And the circumstances under which they have children is as a result of some of what has happened in the Caribbean. Yes. So you're basically, it's a power issue.
Yeah.
You submit to the powerful. The powerful is the European.
Yeah.
And then you bring forth children who look different.
Yeah.
So they don't live with the European families because they are not considered white. They live in areas where they're not necessarily densely populated with darker skinned people because they are recognized as being probably fathered in most cases by, because would it be mostly men? European men.
Right.
Are there any European women?
Well,
so it's African mothers and European men largely.
Yeah.
Do we have much of the other happening? European women having children with African men?
No.
Not here.
Yeah. Here and there you'll find, but even then, nowadays, those days, you'll be killed. That child will be killed. If the mother doesn't run away with the child.
Murder. It's called murder.
Yeah.
English is such, the idea of English has to be. I'm not a linguist or anything like that, but
Yeah.
you know, there is all of this decency given to English. English should not be associated with decency.
No.
English is a tool of oppression.
That's right.
And it suppresses and leads to conditions that can't be articulated by English.
Yeah.
And yet people who don't understand want to know why I have an issue with English.
Yeah, me too.
You know, they don't get it. But that's okay if they don't get it. It just tells me their level of understanding has yet to grow, to be elevated.
Yeah.
You know.
Like my mom would say, man, you so-called educated people, you are the ones who are pulling us down.
Yeah.
The old lady would just tell me straight.
Yes, the elders have wisdom
Yeah.
that has not properly been acknowledged.
Yeah.
The elders tell it, they know it, they've watched and they've seen,
Yeah.
but they don't get audience in certain places. You know, they are dismissed as being old and, you know, stuck back in the day. We would do well, or younger people would do well to spend some time with elders and just listen to what seems to be foolishness. Because it's not foolishness. They speak in parables,
Yeah.
they speak truths, they laugh when they talk about horror.
Yeah.
But that's not because it's funny. It's because, you know, it's an expression. Things come from the body like that, and sometimes your laughter is almost cynical.
Yeah.
You know.
The old lady says it.
Yeah.
You are the ones who are pulling us down. You go to school, you finish this so-called school or education. Now you say you are educated. What do? You run to white people.
Yes.
So what kind of education is that? The old lady would ask.
Yeah.
That's not education. You know, you are almost brainwashed.
It is brainwashing.
Yeah.
Very much. That's what schooling does.
Yes,
It is
yes.
designed to make you think a certain way.
Yeah.
It tests you along the way to make sure that you are thinking the way we want you to think at that age.
Yeah.
Doing the things we want you to do at that age, so that you will have the future that we want you to have when you get older. Because we need labor.
Yeah.
And we need people who don't ask questions.
You know?
Yeah. We need people who will protect us even though we are
Yeah.
doing wrong.
Yeah.
So you must go to our schools. You know.
Say that again.
You know.
That's why I don't like those things.
Yeah. But we, you know, at the same time we must know them, otherwise we
Yeah.
can't navigate those spaces. But I hold fast to the idea and the omnipotent power and presence of
Yeah.
God. And God has what I am using English, it limits me, but I'm using English to say has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And the sense of humor, I think, I see it in many different ways. One of the ways in which I see it is those of us who take ourselves off to so-called first world countries, so-called, or you know, high-level jobs or well-to-do areas. Those of us who have been blessed with a lot of melanin, and our hair grows in a particular way, and our nose looks a particular way, and our lips, and so on and so forth, and we give birth to children that look like us, unless we make peculiar and persistent effort to find someone who will give us a child whose hair is straighter and skin is lighter. If we do what our parents have done to bring us in with our features, God does this thing. So even though you are straightening your hair with chemicals,
Yeah.
God keeps making your hair grow natural.
You
It keeps
understand?
making your hair grow curly, which means you have to keep running for the chemicals. You have to keep putting the chemicals, and God just keeps making your hair grow curly. You know what I mean? He keeps making your nose be broad.
Yeah.
He keeps making your lips be full.
Yeah.
so you do whatever you want, but you will continue. Your DNA, your heritage will come through. You will betray your own self. If you don't get a chance to run very quickly to those people, those shops, who often they're not even run by us in many instances. I will just keep betraying you. You will wake up in the morning and you will have to run to the bathroom very quickly before somebody sees that actually you're African. Oh my goodness, can you imagine? What a sense of humor. I give thanks.